Checking out the highlights of the Quiksilver Pro, a little bit of a surf movie to get hyped up for round 3. Heat number 3, Jordy Smith taking on Gouveia. Smith inside the top 10, has had so many great years on the championship tour. Last couple of seasons, been right behind Gabriel Medina, John Florence the last couple of seasons. Came into Europe with a shot last season when he got knocked out in this round. So he's looking to get a spot in round 40. Driving down the line with some great points off the top and through the open face. He'll finish on his feet, slamming that end section on his forehand. And looking for a quick start against Gouveia. Potts winning that title back in '89 and really groomed on the same playing field in Durban as Jordy Smith. First turn nice and clean, and also finished pretty strong, Potts.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of what you got to do out here. That recipe that we've seen that's been very successful this entire day. Some big turns and then finishing really strong. So Jordy Smith knows the danger. Yeah, you know, and I think it's kind of a prerequisite. You need to be good in all kinds of conditions, Joe.
Frontside body torque wrap for Smith. Taps that lip line, slopey open face. He'll fade and wrap it real quick. Still hanging in there on this inside corner. He'll just wrap it shut through the inside. 2 scores coming in quickly. Opener in at a 6.0. That'll be the backup with 25 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, you know, interesting that Jordy kind of stuck with that. I think he's using that jet ski assist. I think he's watched it work quite successfully all day. Getting those waves, getting some quick scores on the board, and Jordy Smith looking sharp, Joe. This one here, as you said, a backup 3.33, but he's got his 2-wave total up and running already, and Gouveia now needing a 9.33, so applying the pressure on Gouveia. Tell there's a little bit of a sense of urgency for Jordy to get the ball rolling in this round. As you touched on before, eliminated here last year. Kind of a strange maneuver there for Jordy. Didn't really connect with that turn.
Jordy loving this Dream Tour format. One-on-one heats is what it's been all about for the last 40 years since it was introduced by Peter Druin back at the Stubbies Pro in Burley Heads. Starting with 3-man heats in round 1. He got a big win there and right into a big section to go for a massive punt. Incomplete on the rotation. Gouveia still hanging on to priority. And often, especially in the last couple of years, this is what he did out the back.
Yeah, not a lot of vertical face, but Jordy's so good. I mean, he's really knowledgeable, high wave IQ when it comes to choice of maneuvers, even on these lumpy, bumpy, tricky conditions. You know, we were talking earlier about how agile William Cardoso is in small waves. Well, Jordy's not too bad by himself. You can see how he brings this one all the way through and finishes managing to keep his speed all the way through. So Jordy Smith milking these waves all the way through. Gouveia still yet to catch a wave.
Luke subscribed to that and moved on, even though he's still inside the top 16 as we watch Gouveia. Blitz the lip there. Love the drifting turn. Carved a backhand tail drift. Unfortunately, that's all that wave has in store for Gouveia. That's his opening ride. 17:30 to go. Breaking down to 9.93.
That inside, really, when you're watching how scores have been unfolding, they haven't been scoring a lot of points on the inside. So Gouveia understanding that, going to town on the outside, drifting out the tail and backing it up with some good turns. So even without that outside in connection, you look at Jordy Smith's last ride, a 3.93, milked it all the way through the inside. So not a lot of points garnered from that inside. It's all about the big turns out the back, and Gouveia knows that. He's already had a hit out here today, knows exactly what he's got to do. Especially up against someone like Jordy Smith. He needs to wait, he needs to find those good waves, and he needs to capitalize with some big maneuvers. They must have worked, whatever it was, but you know, he was a tough competitor. A great surfer, very quick, very fast, did some big maneuvers, just like his son.
Ian now on the windup. Clean little draw right in the pocket. Springing vertically out in front. Here comes the wrap. Lengthy left, giving him a lot of opportunity. Wraps it again, winding up for the punt to finish.
Oh.
Clean frontside grab. Stays on his feet, giving us a little bit of everything. Opener was a 3.93. A 6.01 will get him the lead off Jordy.
I think I might have to give it to him.
That just waved looked fun to surf. A lot of great sections, finishing with the air. Judges are going to love that.
Yeah, I reckon it's perfect conditions for it. First maneuver, beautiful gouging turn. Hits the gas to get around, nice vertical, so showing some variety, combination of major turns. Little wrapping turn, waiting for this inside section to build up. He knows it's coming. He wants to get ready for it. Widens the stance and bang. Beautiful straight air, nice and clean.
Jordy looking to get back into a rhythm here as Gouveia's kind of taken the spotlight last two waves. And he'll just hop off, short wave ridden there. Scores in for Gouveia. He doesn't get the lead, a 5-5 from the panel. 3.93 start. To work on your free surfing with no one out. And thanks to Surfline, you get real life conditions. So you can surf it just like Jordy is right now as he's throwing a quick reverse on the takeoff of the right. Wraps it into the pocket. Here's that little fading cut back again for Smith. Inside, front side wrap, and he'll just coil up for the oncoming section. Nice, clean, textbook surfing from Jordy. Looking to improve on a 3.93. Right before the break, we had Ian Gouveia. Gave us a lot on that. Stretched out left and just ended up short of the lead, a 5.5 there.
Jordy Smith, though, talk about innovation. Quick spin right there. Great footwork to get himself back in the sweet spot into the wrapping cutback. So the judges are going to like that combo. And what Jordy's been doing, he's been milking these waves all the way through, Joe. He hasn't been giving up on them. Starting off with a 6, 4.50 right now is his backup. And let's have a look at the pop that he gets. There's not much of a lip there, so kind of really stomping on the tail to get the release and spinning around quickly, which is very difficult to do. It's so hard to keep your balance when you spin that fast.
They've got a cool little sparring crew, always battling. We've seen Dylan Lightfoot working hard. Watching this now with Ian Gouveia. Carve in the throwaway section. He's down, 9:30 remaining.
Yeah, I kind of thought Jordy would have had a lot more success out here, Joe, in a beach break situation. Durban, South Africa's got some great beach breaks. Some, I reckon rivals the southwest of France for perfection. But you know what, Jordy's grown up in Durban, and Durban, there's a lot of rip as well. You got these jetties and piers where the water rushes out and comes around it and creates this rip, so you're constantly paddling. So no stranger to that. And I think that's why, Jordy Smith has that physique that he's got, those big shoulders. Most surfers do that grow up in places where water moves a lot. Yeah, too many 13s, so Joe. Jordy's better than that. Those results are not indicative of how good this kid surfs. Here we go.
Ian Gouveia looking for a 5.01. Just searching for a big section. Didn't like the ramp there. And now Jordy checking out the right. Clean frontside snap off the lip, and he'll be out of there. Another short ride. Situation stays the same. Jordy understands that there's 10,000 points on the line here. Portugal, where he's finaled before, and also the Pipe Masters. Here comes Smith. Backhand float off the roof. Right into a wrapping cutback. He'll just continue that wrap until his section starts to build. Smith just hanging in there. It's not really giving it to him. And so he'll try again. 3:40 to go.
I like the fact he's not giving up on his waves, Joe. He's riding it to the death. 4.5 is his backup. As you said, needs to better that just to increase his score. A super close hit here at the moment. Beautiful. A reaction time there to get up and over that first section into a wrap. Just stringing some nice maneuvers together. Nothing too radical, so I'm not sure whether that's going to better his 4.5. And I think as that score drops in right there, here we go.
It's going to come down to this wave. We've had a lot of buzzer beaters throughout the day today. Gouveia jams the first section on the backhand, straight up vert to extend the maneuver. Sticks it. Tried to put a bit more drama in the finish. Let's see what happened here.
Well, it's going to come down to the first turn. Nice little snap. And then I think he kind of got hung up just a little bit, which created the drama at the end of that wave. 5.01. Whew, it's close. I'm not sure whether he's going to get it though, Joe.
Miguel Pupo Enjoyed that finishing move through the inside corner. He's got one more wave in him. Winding up for something big. He ends up just kicking out. Still has 30 seconds on the clock, which we're watching closely after Zeke turned his heat with about 5 seconds remaining. Numbers in for Ian Gouveia at the buzzer of 4.8. Left chasing a 5.01. Jordy Smith survives. Moves on to round 4 to take on Connor Coffin and Matty Wilkinson.